Okay, so next we're going to make her top, and we're going to start by the shoulders, and I'm going to use three colours. I'm using flesh tone, I'm using red, a couple of red anyway, and blue. But we're going to start here, and instead of, as we would normally do, a head up the top, we're going to start with shoulders and her chest. And then I'm going to move to some blue bands. I haven't used these blue bands before. They're a Crazy Loom blue band, so I found them at Target and thought I'd give them a go. So we're still double banding. Oops. So it's 4 down. Okay, and then we take another 2, put them over here, another 2 and put them over here, push them down. We need an end cap on here because again with her bodice she stops here, she doesn't go on to her legs. So take a single band and wrap it once, twice, and I'm going to do 3 times for this particular band because it's quite stretchy. If you've got a tight band you might only be able to wrap it around twice. It depends on the brand of band that you're using and your judgment on whether you think it should go around twice or 3 times. I'm going to do that. Now for the first crossover band, which is a single band, I'm just going to place it over like that so that it doesn't draw her in. It gives her some hips. For the second one, which is here, and also for the third, I'm going to take that single band and stretch it, figure 8, loop it on itself, and I'm going to place that across those 3 pegs like that. I'm going to do the same for the one above it. And that, being looped on itself, draws it in and will give her a waist. I'm not going to do that at the bust line, I'm just going to leave it as a single band like that. Now for her arms, take a single flesh tone band and wrap it around your hook once and twice. We're going to slide that onto a pair of flesh tone, another pair of flesh tone, and one more pair of flesh tone. Now traditionally we would have 5 bands, not counting the end cap, so 1, 2, 3. We have 2 more that we need to do. So what I'm going to do in the first, for the first pair, it's going to be just blue, like that. For my second, for pair number 5, I'm going to take a single red band and 2 blues. I'm going to put the red band in the middle, and I'm going to slide those over and on like that. I'm going to try and make sure that they're not twisted in any way, and I'm going to try and ensure that the red band stays in the middle like that. And then I'm going to place that on the shoulder up here. I'm going to do the same for the next single band, wrap it once and twice. We're sliding it onto 3 pair. So here's our first pair of flesh tone, our second pair of flesh tone, and our third pair of flesh tone. Then we do our 2 blues, Oops, I can see I missed a band there. Let's get both on the hook. There we go. And then 2 blues and 1 red. In that order, like that. So blue, red, blue, slide them on, recapture the end of your bands, see if you can straighten them out so that they're, now I can see it's, if I twist it the other way it might be better. There we go. And that's going to go on the other shoulder, just here. We're ready to loop up, I should say. Dig down past that end cap and grab the top 2 bands and loop it across. Do the same for the other side. Make sure you get both. Thick bands. There we are. Dig down and grab the middle one. Up to there. Now loop in the arms. So digging down and finding those 2 bottom skin tone. Loop up the chest. Now we're going to get 2 skin tone bands. We are not tying off. Dig down, poke your hook through, grab the 2 bands, twist your hook so that the smooth side goes against the bands, pull them back up round to the front and find that you have a broken band. Let's do that one again. I do hate that. But isn't it nice to know that it happens to me too? You're not the only ones it happens to. It always feels like you're the only one in the world that it ever happens to. Slide it to the back of that peg. Grab the 2 front ones, up, over and off. Oh, what am I doing? Silly me. So, grab 2 flesh tone, dig your hook in, slide your hook around so that the smooth side goes against those bands to the back of the peg like that. We are not tying off. Now, as I mentioned, I was using a twisty tie, and all you would do with a twisty tie is poke it down here and tie off up the top. I also found these cute little clips at Joann's, so I have been using them because it's the first thing I've ever found to use them for. So I'm using those as my coat hangers, let's say. Okay, grab the back of a metal hook and we take this off the loom. And there she is with her body. Now, if you are going to attach her head to this, shall I show you now or shall we wait till the very end? I'll show you now. What you're going to do, place these 2 ends of the bands on a hook. Actually, I want a better hook than that. That's my fine hook, and my fine hook is a bit too fine. So, I'm sorry I'm hitting the camera. It's very close to me. Place my hook through here. I'm going to take your twisty tie off, or your clip, whatever you're using. You could use a C-clip or whatever, so that you have your figure on your hook. You're going to take the head. Now, do you see there is the end cap here that we placed? What we need to do, make sure that your face is facing forward on your body. You're going to take these two bands at the back of the body off, okay? Taking those off. You're placing your hook through the end cap with the eyes facing forward. So you've stabbed her through the head like that. Then you're going to reclaim those bands, okay, onto your hook. You're going to drag the head backwards and pull those bands forward. You're then going to take the two bands closest to you on the hook over and off and pull tightish. You then have a loop here at the front of her neck. You're going to splay it open and slide her head through and let go. And there you have her head attached to her body. Now we need to make some skirts. Actually, we'll do legs because they're nice and easy, and I don't want to do too much in one video because I don't want you all to get really bored. So for her legs, you're going to use your loom. Put your loom in the standard configuration so all columns are the same height. We want 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here's number 1, and they're pairs. You're double banding. 2, oops, 3 and 4. You need to do that this side too because she's got 2 legs. Have you worked out who she is yet? 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now this particular one has black shoes, so I'm going to take my black bands, take 2 black bands, place them on your hook, wrap them once and twice, and we're sliding those onto 2 black bands like that. Spread them out so they're nice and even. Reclaim the end of your bands. Do that again with another 2 black bands. Slide your hook through, wrap once and twice, but this time instead of sliding onto black bands, you're sliding onto 2 skin tone. Spread them out nice. So the first set we made, we're going to take the 2 closest to the end of our hook, up, over and off, so they are on the skin tone bands. You're then going to swap places on your hook with the skin tone bands, and move these 2 up, over and off, so they're all on that one band, or 2 bands, the flesh tone bands. Reclaim the end of your bands like that and tilt the little foot forward, and that goes on the end here, just like it would if we were making any figure. Let's make sure I've got that right. I think one of these bands is twisted. Let's untwist it. There we go. And that gets placed on the end here. We'll do the other side. 2 black bands, wrap once and twice, slide onto 2 black bands. Reclaim the end of your bands. Another 2 black bands, slide onto your hook, wrap once and twice. This time we're sliding onto 2 skin tone bands. Take the 2 that we made first, the 2 bands closest to the end of the hook, up, over and off onto those flesh tone bands, and then swap sides with the flesh tone bands and move these 2 up, over and off. Everything is now on the flesh tone bands. Reclaim your band ends, tilt the foot the other way, and we can pop it on here like that. Dig down and we loop up. You find those 2 bottom bands and loop up. Oops. Now, once we're here, we're going to take one off at a time, and I'm going to show you how you attach them to this body. As you can see, we have an end cap here that we placed. Do you see that? Either side of the end cap, you have got 2 bands here, and oops, 2 here. That's where we're going to add. These are the 2 bands either side of that end cap that we're adding the legs. So take one leg off, work out which side it's going to go. It can go either side, but work out which side. You don't want the foot facing inwards on the right hand side. It's got to face on the out. Like we did with the neck, take the side closest to the end of the hook off, so you just have one end of the band on. You're going to push your hook through those bands there and reclaim the end of your bands onto your hook, okay, so that it's flesh tone, blue, flesh tone. Pulling from the back to the front, you pull those flesh tone bands through, and then you take the 2 nearest to you up, over and off like that. We're going to stretch this one out, splay it out and pop the foot through, and there we have a leg attached. Let's do the other one. So again, we want to make sure that the foot is facing the right way. Take one side off, okay, and you can hold it. Push your hook through from the front to the back and reclaim those flesh tone bands, so you have flesh, blue, flesh. Pulling from the back to the front, pull those flesh tone bands through and take the 2 flesh tone closest to you on the hook, up, over and off, and pull. You're going to splay these out and poke the foot through like that. We now have, oops, 2 legs attached to our body. Now you might think it's weird, why wouldn't we have just attached the legs anyway? There's method to my madness, don't worry. So I'm going to pause the video here, and we're going to come back and we're going to do the 2 skirts. Well, there's 3 skirts, but 2 of them are the same. I'll get back to you in a minute.